Okay, so I'm going to be beginning the session. I'd like to welcome you all. I'm speaking here from Limassol, Cyprus. It's really sunny over here. It's a bit windy, but all good. My name is Dennis, and I'm going to be presenting this live trading chamber event for this Super Tuesday. In about 25 minutes, we will have plenty of volatility, so let's go over to today's market movers. The focus, as you already all know, will be on the Bank of England, on the Bank of England's meeting and the so-called Super Thursday. The reason it's called Super Thursday is the following. We're going to be getting the policy announcements, minutes, updated inflation report, and the press conference from Mark Carney just a little after that. It's going to be wild. What makes it even more super, probably adding the duper into it as well, is the fact that the High Court in the UK has literally just right now, I don't know, 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago, ruled that the Parliament must vote on whether or not the UK can start the process of leaving the EU. So this is a big game changer, but I'm going to explain all the details of it right now. Speculation in the whole market is UK will not leave the EU, but I'm going to give you all the information you need pretty soon. So it is expected that the Bank of England will keep its interest rates at 0.25%. This could actually change. So be ready for something like this as well. There is a chance of them lowering the interest rates. The government bond purchases target also is expected to be at 435 billion. We spoke about the bond bubbles in the market. We explained them in detail, and we will again in a better post as well where you can read things. Now we expect the Bank of England to maintain its easing despite the much weaker GBP. Now, on several occasions, the Bank of England has communicated that it will see through a higher inflation rate in the short term. So this is only temporary. They're not very worried about inflation, even though it is expected to rise today again. Now I'm going to go over the High Court and all the information you need to know. There was a shock ruling this morning that came after Prime Minister Theresa May announced that she would actually trigger Article 50 before the end of March 2017. If you don't know what Article 50 means, it means, well, it's basically the beginning of talks with the EU and the member state that wants to leave. So in this case, the UK. Now, this has never been done before. Article 50 has never been even close to getting triggered. Right now it is. It's expected to be quite a complicated and very long process. And in fact, once Article 50 is triggered, it is expected that the UK will leave up to 2 years after that day, so around 2019. Now, it's very interestingly, something very interesting that you need to know is that the only reason Article 50 was put in the Lisbon Treaty in the first place was to silence the British complaints. Okay, the British were the only ones complaining, how the hell do you leave this place if you want to leave it? And ironically, they're the first ones leaving the union. Now, further hearing will be scheduled, which will take place at the Supreme Court, and it will definitely happen by the end of this year. Now, the thing is, even if it has to go to a vote in the Parliament whether or not to accept Brexit, most MPs are expected to vote in favor of triggering the Article 50, as the majority of the voters chose Brexit. You have to understand that in Parliament, not in court, but in Parliament, the people that will eventually have to vote, most of those people voted for Brexit. So it's very important to note this. Anyhow, now we expect a lot of volatility today. In my view, it is very early to rule out that the economy could slow down. I see that the economy could increase as it is in the UK, because I keep stating this over and over again. The UK has not left the EU. Everything is the same. We just have a very weak pound. That means exports are better and it's harder to import. I mean, not harder, but a bit more expensive. But if you think of it logically, I mean, the pound is still stronger than the dollar. It's still stronger than the euro by almost 10 cents. Well, exactly 10 cents. It's stronger by the dollar by 25 cents almost right now. And this morning, if you would ask me before this Supreme Court and everything came out, if you would ask me what would happen with the pound today, I would tell you it would go down. I told you guys in yesterday's session, if anybody was here, that FTSE will continue dropping. Now, I also indicated a possible movement upwards because the volume supporting these moves is not that strong. This indicates that surely the FTSE will go down, but probably around this level, and I'm going to put it as a brick. Here we go. So I'm just going to remove this very quickly. So anywhere from here. So sometime from next week to the third week of November, or maybe even today. I mean, it could happen today. No genie here, but I could see maybe price heading back up here today. But I'm ready to cover my positions with the FTSE. So I'm going to be trading the FTSE today, and I have plenty of positions open in the market, not only in this account, in another account as well. So we're taking big risks today, but we're going to be covering ourselves by trading indices because they're going to move like crazy. It's very important to note as well not to rush into something. Mark Carney will have a press conference after this. That press conference comes, I think, half an hour after the statements. So basically what we have is in 18 minutes we will have the interest rate decision, we will have the inflation report, and we will have the MPC meeting minutes. 48 minutes after this, so half an hour right after that happens, or 48 minutes from now, we will have the press conference from Mark Carney, which should last about half an hour to 45 minutes. Expect a ton of volatility today. There was a lot of volatility yesterday during the ADP report, and we made some very good returns on that hour. I'm very skeptical right now as to what will happen. I'm really not sure what could happen. There are many different indications in the market and nothing serious to support my idea of a weaker pound right now, because it's gonna go weaker. But the problem is here, the biggest problem we're facing right now is that the Supreme Court ruled this thing out very surprisingly and very, very, very rapidly. You can see the pound. Look at the rise in the pound, for example, here. This is right when that happened. You can see the big spike of 120 pips. Now the reason it's dropping a bit down because there is uncertainty about today, and obviously the smart money knows that regardless of what happens, there has to be another vote. So even if they want another vote, the MPCs will have to vote, the parliament will have to vote, and that will not be the best. And the biggest problem, and here it is, I'm going to tell you right now, the biggest problem is that by Supreme Court doing this, we're going to go into a hard Brexit. This is simply an indication of a harder Brexit. There is no way going out of it right now, at least in my view. Inflation is going insane in the UK. Think of it like this. How does inflation increase? I sell fish, for example, and Kato comes to buy some fish from me 4 months ago. Kato buys fish from me for £1, and I buy my fish from Spain. And right now the pound weakens a lot. Obviously I'm buying them in euros. Instead of selling my fish for £1 and to make a profit, I have to sell Kato that fish for £1.50, for example. And same goes with shoes, and same goes with pretty much everything else. Yes, Adam says that the government loses court case against Brexit. No, these are just speculations right now. An appeal will happen, and basically another verdict will be done by the end of this year. So appeal, then another verdict, and then if that happens, then either court or they will just let the people vote. Because the people did vote. And the idea is this: majority of the people vote. So that's what matters. It doesn't matter what I want. It's the majority, what the majority wants. The majority voted for a lead, and I think that should be respected. And obviously, the UK wants to have its own immigration policies. As you see, that's one of the biggest issues right now in the Eurozone. Many countries are having this, from Austria to Hungary. Well, Hungary is probably the smartest country out of all of these countries. Yeah, they did something what Trump wants to do, but you're protecting your land. You're protecting things within it. But I'm not going to go over those things right now. What I want to talk about is what could happen right now. Regardless of what happens, I really think there will be volatility, especially with what happened today. Especially with what happened today with the Supreme Court. Now, like I said, nothing is certain, but everything is deliberate. There is a reason why this happened today. before Super Tuesday. It's not just random. So there is a reason why they're doing this today. As you can see, look, if everything is supported towards the pound, what you're going to see is you're going to see the GBP head all the way back up there where the flash crash happened. So that's one scenario. GBP USD can head all the way up here by a good 300-400 pips. And when that move starts happening, it's going to be real fast. Now this is basically the market just stabilizing itself, and then you're going to call this little bubble over here exactly what they're calling it, the flash crash, but you will also call it basically a fake out. So price would go back in, head over to the top over here eventually. So I'm saying pop in here, maybe go down, bounce over here, head back up to this area here. So, and then obviously play around there until we see what happens with actual Brexit. But if we go to the indices, to the FTSE or UK 100, you see a very powerful indication of severe moves down. But this is what I want to show you. Even though this price went down here, I want you to see this. You see this? This drop here was followed by a serious rise. This is not a small rise. These are daily charts. So that was about 200 pips on the FTSE. It can even be 300 to 400 pips. So what I'm indicating here is that right now price is at exactly that same level. What could happen is that price heads back up before crashing down, or just break this level. Obviously, there's always two scenarios. That's as simple as that. There are two scenarios to everything. And the market can only do three things. It can go up, it can go down, or it can move sideways. Only three things can support any kind of idea. Right now, only two, either up or down. Like I said, before the Supreme Court and before everything came out, I was very bearish, FTSE and bearish GBP. I was extremely bearish. I was so bearish and so certain that it would happen, I already opened positions. And I got a bit screwed, but it's okay. These are simple profits that if anything happens, I will lose. I will just lose profits, nothing else. So we are down to the last 13 minutes. And as you can see, this is a 200 moving average. And you can see in the daily chart that we're still below it. And I don't know, obviously nothing will change. But like I said, what you could see happening is the following, especially with what happened just now. And Carney will surely have many questions in regards to Article 50 being triggered today. And when he starts speaking about that, expect massive volatility. I really expect something big to happen with that. So price could head back into this zone here. Like I said, it's probably around here. So price could head back inside, bounce in these areas, maybe go down, maybe break up a little bit. But these are very long-term scenarios. Like I said, I do see something very big happening in the markets in the coming weeks and months. Especially the election, that's going to be very interesting. But due to those elections, perhaps, just perhaps, today the pound is going to be heading higher, popping into this triangle, bouncing back down, and then when the elections happen, we expect a very weak USD, and that means GBP USD will get higher. So does anybody have any questions for me? No questions? Okay. Anyway, we're down to the 11 minutes. I'm going to be speaking just a little bit more before we head into that. Now, before today's event, I just want to go over something important. Later in the day, we're going to be getting the ISM non-manufacturing PMI from the USA. And this should be important as well. If we get a lot of volatility kicking in throughout the announcements right now, then you surely shouldn't expect much to happen with the ISM. Especially because it came out such high numbers the last time, there's only a minor drop expected, and surely it will not go over the 60 level. If it does, then expect something big happen. Okay. I still see oil heading lower, but we're going to talk about oil once I finish with this. I'm not going to be speaking much right now. I'm just going to wait for the event to come up because volatility will start kicking in slowly. But like I said, probably Carney's speech will have much more volatility than it does. Tomorrow NFP will be much easier to trade, I believe. It's going to be much easier to trade NFP tomorrow. Even though it's going to be really a really important event, it's so much easier to predict something like that than, like I said, it would be easy to predict this, but this thing happened with the court, with the Supreme Court of the UK, and that just put me totally off guard. I didn't expect something like this happening. The good thing is we didn't have too many trades open, so we're still okay on all fronts. Oil is soon preparing for a move down, but like I said, I'll explain that a little bit more. I'll explain about oil a little bit more later on. Okay, we're down to the last 7 minutes. We had a really good day yesterday and before yesterday. Basically, in general, November started off really strong. A few mistakes today have caused us to lose a little bit, but the most important thing is we're still in gains. So that's something to always look forward to. If gold begins to weaken, you'll see the pair heading higher, and it's pretty simple. As you can see, price is just moving between these borders here. You can clearly see it. More or less areas of support and resistance. Here you can see it like this, and then this. Doesn't matter. So like I said, this could head higher. USD CHF. USD JPY, I mean, it's been stagnating for quite some time after this massive rally downwards. Euro USD, I see it possibly going down later on in the day. Probably a strong ISM reading. You see GBP CHF, I mean, it's either a breakout or it's going to go down. So it's probably going to go up and then back inside. I don't know, it looks like we might have a stronger pound today. I'm still not sure nor convinced. So it's a very tough decision to make whether we buy or we sell. As you see, this month really did start out strong. Even for this account, I mean, there's only 4 losing trades on this account. The other account that's done some wonders today. There's a bit of a bigger drawdown on the smaller account, but of course that's a much more aggressive account, and I mean, it does always spike up, drop down, spike up, drop down, spike up, drop down. So it's very important to be careful when you follow us on that account. Five minutes left. Like I said, there is not much input I can put into this right now. I have a couple of things to notify you about after the event. I just don't want to start speaking now about them and then cut off halfway in, because, like I said, there will be volatility. This is an important event, and it's a very rare event. Especially what happened with the Supreme Court today makes it even more rare. Great, Kai. I'm really happy for that. I'll talk to you after the event, after the session, if you're free. We can have a call then. Great. So you see, there is a lot of gray words in this thing that was released by the Supreme Court. It basically, the words that are stated in there are the following: Theresa May must consult Parliament. The word consult Parliament is a big word. It doesn't mean she must obviously give the decision to the Supreme Court or to the Parliament, but she must consult the Parliament before. So the two words that stand out are consult and before. She must consult Parliament before triggering Article 30. It's the same thing like I tell you, you need to click this before you get this. So I still think it's going to happen. I don't think there's anything that is going to hold them back. This is just a simple stabilization of the GDP. Perhaps they need it stabilized. Maybe they want to lower inflation because inflation kicks in hard when a currency is weak. So it's something that the US will probably do, something the Fed will do. Weaken the dollar, increase inflation, start raising interest rates. It's very simple. It's such a simple process. Inflation increased at such a rapid pace for the UK that it's insane. At the last, basically, once Brexit became a reality. Well, not a reality, an idea. So inflation rose. It's a very simple idea of the Fed doing the same thing. Weaken the dollar, inflation rises, and very simple. You can't rise inflation with a strong currency. It's very hard to do it. I mean, you need to do so many other things in order to raise inflation with such a strong currency, with a strong currency. And the dollar is strong. So that's why I'm saying, just maybe today, the idea is up. Anyway, we're down to the last couple of seconds. Expect lots of volatility now. I mean, logically, it should be here. I'm just focused on the trades right now. I'm not going to be going away from the trading screen, so I'll talk in a second. Okay? Nothing. Yeah, I guess it's going to continue rising then. What about the FTSE? Okay, we're okay. Okay, and nothing really is happening. Everything came out as expected. Oh, okay. Sorry. The charts are sorry. The screen was frozen for you guys. Anyway, not much changed. I bought GBP USD and I moved the stop loss in 3 pips into profit. And basically, I'm waiting. I also sold Euro GBP. I didn't see that you guys are frozen, and I've added the stop loss over there, and I will slowly move it. Anyhow, okay, at least we were correct on this side. This will probably begin heading higher as Kami starts speaking, and GBP will start gaining strength. It will, for the first time, yeah. Okay. Okay, it will slowly begin rising. It will gain strength. We're waiting for Carney to speak right now. He's probably, yeah, good. So Carney is probably going to continue rising the pound. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start compounding the process slowly, not very rapidly. Add here, stop loss down to 16, stop loss here. Okay, you see, if I close this, if it reverses, I will win 452 and here 144. So we continue adding on. And we're going to continue to do so. Okay, we'll continue doing that. We can do this with the GBP as well. If we get stopped out, I really don't care. The idea is to make money in a volume. So FTSE should be going up, right? No, not yet. FTSE has broken out of a very powerful triangle formation, so maybe it's going to go down. Okay, so gold should be heading lower, not yet. Okay, that's it. We're gonna stay here now. Some positions have closed out. This is the threshold. If we can break this level, we're gonna go sky high, but I don't think it's gonna be broken. I wanna show you something. Our last stop is here. And our new top is here, supported by the moving average, 200 moving average. If there is not enough power, I will start selling this pair. If there is not enough room to break it, we're going to start selling. So I'm not speaking too much because I'm actually trying to see what's going to happen. So we have two reasons why price might not break here. First, it didn't break here with that flash crash. That is exactly when it finished. There's the flash crash. Price comes back up and chills. Just chills right there. Drops back down, moves. Now it's come here. So basically, inflation forecast, growth forecast have both been raised by the Bank of England. So Carney is going to lead the way. Carney is going to lead the way. He will. Gosh, he's going to probably strengthen the pound. So I'm going to move my stop loss lower, and then we'll re-enter the market if we have to. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for Carney's speech. There is not much point just sitting here and looking at the market move up and down a little bit. Carney is definitely gonna move the market. I'm gonna go over some small information in regards to Carney later on. What you can do is basically just head on over to the forums in about 1 hour's time from now, and I'm gonna provide you with all the information there. Basically covered some trades. Nasdaq. Let me just see something very quickly. Anyway, oil is preparing for a very nice re-entry into the market. As you see, oil always goes in sideways. If it's going up, it's going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It always does that, especially now. You can see it here as well. It goes down, then up, then down, then up, down, then up. And now we're down, and now we're at the up. It's usually the 50% level of the top and the high. You see? So if I go here, and I just put the 50% level, chances are we're gonna pretty much be at the 50%. 50 is another very powerful number. You see, we're pretty much at the 50% here. And if I move it over here, we'll have something similar. See, we're getting the bottom here and the bottom here. And we usually come to around the 50% level. These are very important things to understand. That usually, if price cannot break this, it's going to be a very good re-entry. And I would even pop into the market right now for this. Carney is going to start his speech soon. Does anybody have any questions for me? Anyway, I'll re-enter the market here. Same scenario here, as you see, waves up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Anyway, if things stand, then look, the UK economy has been strong. I mean, I've stated this plenty of times, and it's not just me, it's just facts are showing that the UK economy is growing. And if I open Forex Factor now, investing.com, or any other kind of economic calendar, all you will see is positive and strong data coming out of the UK. The only thing that's bad is the pound. But, you know, it's the idea is of this. You throw away one rock to pick up the other 10. Throw away a big rock, which was the pound, and now they're growing. Pretty much almost everything in the UK is growing. Now the pound should strengthen. I mean, I do expect it to get higher eventually, especially after the Article 50 gets triggered normally. But for now, maybe Carney is just going to push it back down. And you could see if he does push it back down, you're going to see serious movement, probably down to the 85 level, 86, somewhere there. It's going to be big. If Carney does something, it's going to be big. If he doesn't do anything and he just talks about the supporting data, well, that's all you're going to have. Just supporting data, same thing, probably move downwards a little bit. Nothing special or nothing serious. Okay, I'm going to end this so we can listen to Carney and see what we're going to do. What you're going to be receiving is a full detailed report after Carney. I gave you some information. We were at least more or less correct on the move. We did say it would go higher, and so we did. Okay, thank you for coming, and make sure you come for the NFP tomorrow. It's going to be much easier to predict. I mean, no Supreme Court is going to come out and talk about employment in the US, so everything's going to be fine. Thank you all for coming. Kato, thank you very much for your time too. I will be wrapping up that email for you today, especially if nothing serious happened here. We're okay on all fronts, so I'll be able to work a little bit. The last few days have been very tough. Thanks everyone, and I wish you all the best. And Kato and Kai, I'll talk to you soon. You too, Adam. I'll talk to you soon.